Right, Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 0. Sorry it's late, but better late than never. Here is my match review. We take the game back to Villa Park for an FA Cup 4th round replay. And I'm not too disappointed with the result. But before we get into all that, people, what is happening? Welcome back to the Joey Knight podcast. If you are new around here and you like the content and you want to see more from myself, please hit the subscribe button. We're still on holiday. We're still banging out videos for you guys. So let's get into it. Right, let's be honest. It's a good job that I'm not currently in training for another fight at this moment in time, but it could be happening very soon because I definitely needed to sink a few beers to be able to watch that game last night. It was pretty boring, to be honest. Pretty rubbish. 0-0. It's never going to be a great game, is it? But it wasn't the worst of games. There was a disallowed goal for Villa very early on, and at the time I was thinking it was maybe harsh, but actually in hindsight Douglas Luiz definitely handballed it. Remember, the letter of the law now is not whether it's intentional, it's whether it's unnatural. His hand was in an unnatural position. How unnatural was it? I don't really know, because you sort of got to lift your arm a little bit. It's a natural thing you do when you're moving forward, but obviously, it rebounded up off the arm. I thought that Villa were very lucky to get the goal because it was a bit of a freak goal because it came from a deflection. So the fact that it was disallowed didn't really make us lucky or unlucky. It was just, you know, it nullified it. It didn't really matter. But after that, Chelsea started to kick into gear a little bit. We went up the other end. There was a good little move. Cole Palmer lays it off to Noni Madueke. The best chance of the match for Chelsea. Noni Madueke hits it straight at Emi Martinez. I don't know if it was straight at him, but it was, Emi Martinez got down well to it. We had a couple of chances after that, but nothing too great. Madueke had another chance. Badiashile had a header. Obviously, Cole Palmer, he had that volley. Oh, no, what Cole Palmer did do is Cole Palmer capitalised on a backwards pass from Longley. And he's always in that position, isn't he, Cole Palmer? Like, he always manages to get them. And I think that that's one of the benefits of playing Cole Palmer as a false nine, is he's the furthest player forward, and he is able to pick up on those defensive lapses in concentration. But I still don't think he's great as a false nine. I still would like to see Cole Palmer on the right wing or in centre attacking midfield, but we will get back to that later. Around the 70th minute mark. So I'm watching a game with my dad, right? And I was saying, after we was having chances in the first half, I was saying Chelsea need to convert soon, because I was telling my dad's a lifelong Chelsea fan, but I probably watch it with, I don't know, I analyse the games a little bit more or less, say, than he does. And I was saying to him, one of our signs we've showed throughout this season is a little bit lacking character, big game management, game know-how. When it gets to about the 70th minute, that's when we can start to concede a lot of chances. You know, it happened against Luton, it happened late on against Crystal Palace, and I thought it was going to happen last night. But the man who has impressed me time in, time out, between the sticks, Petrovic, popped up, and he was pivotal for us later on in the game, saving a few big chances and keeping us in the tie, if we're honest. I just realised I forgot to run through the team sheet from last night, so we will quickly do it now. Petrovic, obviously, in goal. There was a bit of confusion, wasn't there? Because early on, it looked like Disasi was going to be at right back. It looked like we were going to see Gilchrist at left back, and it was going to be a centre-back pairing of Thiago Silva and Badiashile, was it? No, I don't think Gilchrist was even going to be on the pitch. That was it. It looked like we were going to see Disasi right back. It looked like we were going to see Thiago Silva and Badiashile at centre back, and Levi Colwell move back over to left back, which a lot of people weren't fans of. We don't like the fact we're having a centre back playing out of position at left back. Well, we ended up doing that anyway because Badiashile played at left back. But actually, Badiashile weren't that bad at left back, you know. He weren't that bad. Although he's not a traditional left back, he's definitely not creative. But his passing range is quite good. I thought Badiashile looked good last night, man. Caicedo and Enzo in the middle, Conor Gallagher in the 10, obviously Madueke on one side, Sterling on the other, and Cole Palmer as the false 9. Which means that we didn't see Ben Chilwell. Obviously, he was the difference maker in the match that I was at against Middlesbrough. He did come on off the bench. We also saw Carney Chukwuemeka come on off the bench. And again, like, it looked like our injury crisis at one point in the season was starting to ease up, and now it really doesn't, you know. Like, we're not going to see Christopher Nkunku start the match against Liverpool. I think that's an absolute given. Probably won't see Malo Gusto start the match against Liverpool. So it's a difficult one because the injuries are piling up. Players that we thought would be coming back, we're not. We're left in the dark at the moment about Romeo Lavia. What is going on there? Yeah, I do think that we would see a lot more of these guys having a lot more of a starting berth if the injury crisis was to ease up a little bit. But we're sort of making do with what we can do at the minute. One thing I do know is we were definitely the better team than Aston Villa last night. We had the better chances on the whole. We were very in control in the game. Possession stats was only like 58% or something, but I just felt like Chelsea were always in control in that match last night, and I was quite proud of the boys in how they performed. And obviously, look, when you come away from a match and the opposition's goalkeeper is their man of the match, that sort of tells you everything, doesn't it? It sort of does tell you anything. But what did we learn from the match? Well, for me, we learned something that I was already starting to learn and I was already understanding, that is that Chelsea are improving. It's slow. We'd like it to be a little bit quicker. We'd like to propel ourselves up the league a little bit more, but Chelsea are improving. We are becoming a lot harder to beat. In the last 7 games, where we've had a sort of decent run, we've conceded 5 goals. That's the same as Liverpool in that amount of time. That's 3 less than Arsenal in that amount of time. And obviously, I'd spent a long time, long periods of the season complaining about our defensive frailties. And let's not jump the gun. There's still 1 or 2 mistakes in there, like we know there is. But I do think, mate, just imagine. And I'm sorry to Disasi and I'm sorry to Badiashile. And obviously next season they'll have more of a chance of a starting berth. And let's see how Wesley Fofana comes back, if he can come back and do anything. But just imagine, for this moment, for me, a backline of Reece James or Malo Gusto, yeah, Silva, Colwell, Chilwell. That is watertight. Is it watertight? I don't know, but I'm running with it. It's watertight. Yeah, that'd be a good backline for us. And I do think that those defensive frailties would iron themselves out if we could start that. But at the minute, we're sort of making do with what we can, shifting Disasi over to right back, Badiashile at left back. It's weird. It's not conventional, but we're sort of doing with what we can. And obviously, FFP regulations and whatnot, I feel like we're going to need to sell a couple of players if we can even start to reinvest in that squad. And I do believe that Pochettino took this job under the understanding that he would have to sort of work with, you know, with what you've got. The midfield pairing of Enzo and Caicedo, we've got to talk about them because earlier on in the season, they were pretty widely mocked, weren't they, for substandard performances, especially when it comes to the amount of money we spent on them. But anyone who's been paying attention will see that in recent weeks, these two boys are ticking over nicely. They're slowly becoming more and more consistent, very much more important, and they're actually starting to fit into the roles that we thought they would, you know, deliver for us when we signed them. So Caicedo, he's getting about. He's a nightmare to play against, I reckon. If you're a midfielder, you don't want to come up against Caicedo. He's everywhere. He's getting about. He's getting stuck in. He's getting the tackles, the interceptions, and he's putting through some nice balls. Enzo is becoming more of a deep-lying playmaker, and actually, it's mad how quickly time changes and how quickly things can shift, because at the moment, the weaker link in there is probably Conor Gallagher, but it's not to say he's a weak link. Still a very good player. So as I say, we're becoming harder to beat. It's getting better. If you look at the form, right, so this is the funny thing, right? I say we're becoming harder to beat. We have lost 2 out of our last 10 games, haven't we? But look at those 2 games. So the real low point in this season for me were the back-to-back losses to obviously Man United and Everton. They were hard to take. I remember that Man United game. Me and Brian done a stream for that, and we got smashed because it was just a hard one to take. It wasn't nice. And then we go and get thumped 2-0 by Everton the following week. That, again, wasn't a nice one to take. But then since that, it sort of seemed like we had turned a corner. We'd started to pick up a few results. We'd started to get the ball rolling a little bit. Obviously, you had some big nights. We went through in the cup against Newcastle. And then you look at the 2 games we've lost in that time. We lost to Wolves away, okay? Wolves have given a lot of teams hard games. You know, they beat Man City this season. They have been a very decent outfit in terms of what I thought they were going to be this season. And a lot of you guys watching might know that, because a video of me about 4 months ago went viral when I'm talking about Wolves could potentially be relegated. And then it doesn't do any numbers for like months, and it just randomly shoots through the roof. And that's the luck of the draw on YouTube, I suppose. But, you know, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Anyway, Wolves, if you look at that game, why did we lose that game? We did not lose that game because of bad game management, because Wolves were a better team than us. Maybe bad game management, but we lost the game because we didn't have a number 9. We did not have a number 9 to put the ball in the back of the net. And it's brilliant with the wide players and the centre attacking midfielders and Cole Palmer chipping in with goals here and there. But if you haven't got a consistent goal scorer, that problem will always rear its ugly head eventually. And it did eventually again, because you look at the next match we lost, and that was Middlesbrough. And again, why didn't we beat Middlesbrough? Because we weren't clinical in front of goal. And I say about a number 9, Maybe you could have a wide man. Maybe in today's age, you look at like Salah, and he's clinical in front of goal. But either way, whether it's a old school number 9, whether it's a wide man that you can rely on, which Christopher Nkunku could possibly be, we didn't have a number 9, and that was why we didn't win either of those games. So realistically, looking at it, the low point being Man United and Everton, because they played us off the park and they were a better team than us. They wanted it more than us, more physical than us, and probably had better chances than us. But in the other 2 games we've lost since then, we've purely lost it because we didn't have a number 9. So now I'm looking at things, and I'm looking at this season, I'm looking at the way the table's shaping up, I'm looking at the fact we're in both domestic cups still, and I genuinely think that if you had have asked me at the start of December, is the season done? I think the season was done. Whereas right now, if we manage to go out and get a number 9, the season's not done. We could win the League Cup final against Liverpool. It's going to be harder because they're going to be doing it for Klopp now. Obviously, the news that he's leaving. But, you play the game, not the occasion. I think we can beat Liverpool in that final. Obviously, in the FA Cup, we can progress. Taking it back to Villa Park is going to be hard. It's been a notoriously hard ground for anyone to win at. It's been a fortress, hasn't it, Villa Park, to be honest. But, I do think that by that point, when is the game? A couple of weeks? 3 weeks or so? We should have a few back from injury. Maybe Nkunku could be back in the starting lineup. Let's see what happens with Lavia. We could win at Villa Park. And when you look at our league position at the moment, there's a few pretenders in that league table ahead of us, and people will be fuming at me for saying this. But what I mean by that is Man United, they're showing no sign that their form is going to pick up, and we have been better than Man United this season. They're marginally above us. Brighton, I don't think Brighton are that good this season. I really don't think Brighton are that good this season. West Ham, they're going to go deep in the Europa League. They will drop off. So then when you look at it, you got what? Tottenham, Villa, Arsenal, City, Liverpool. We're probably not going to finish ahead of any of them. There's a chance we could finish ahead of Villa. Spurs, again, they're hitting a bit of form at the minute. But let's not remember they went on, a 5-game winless run. So there's always a chance. And I just think when you look at the table at the moment, we could progress ourselves up it. But we need a number 9. Who would it be for you lot? Doesn't look like we're going to get Benzema. I suggested the Callum Wilson thing, but can we hang our hat on Callum Wilson being fit to feature in every game between now and the end of the season? No, I don't really know if we can. I really don't know. So let me know what you lot think. Do we wait and see if Nkunku can be that man? I don't know. I look at the way that Kai Havertz was, and listen, Nkunku's a much better player than Kai Havertz, but Kai Havertz, one thing that he had going against him when he was at Chelsea is we were always playing in the number 9. He wasn't a number 9. He's playing in 8 for Arsenal, you know what I mean? If anything, he was a second striker, a role that in modern football is just dying off and we don't even have. So he was a little bit harshly done by, and I don't want Nkunku to fall into that same mould of being a brilliant player. Not that Havertz is, Nkunku is, a brilliant player, but, played out of position and then maybe looked upon unfavourably. One player I could say has had that all season is Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill is a brilliant player, brilliant centre-back, not a left-back. So now Chilwell's back. Maybe it'll start to even itself out. Listen, I am rambling a little bit, people. But I just wanted to get you lot a video. I am going to drop a preview for the Liverpool game. Let me know now, because Josh will do this for me if I ask him to. Do you want Josh to give his starting lineup in the preview? I can get him to record it and send it over to me and get it in my video. I mean, he'll probably do a video off his own channel as well, but I know you lot like to hear from him. So let me know if you want that. I will do a preview for the Liverpool game. Let me know your thoughts on last night's game. I genuinely believe that we've turned a corner, but have we turned a corner? You lot tell me. I think we have turned a corner. I think if you stick a proven number 9 into this Chelsea side, we propel ourselves up the league and we're definitely getting Europa League football, and there might even be, in some sort of crazy world, a chance where we go into the final couple of weeks and it's still mathematically possible that we get Champions League football, because we are doing well now. But we have got a tough run of fixtures to come. So very, very interested to hear your lot's thoughts. I will be reading all of your comments. I'll try and get back to as many of you as I possibly can. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're not already, please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the like button if you haven't done that already. That massively helps me out. And also, if you lot are not sick and tired of me talking about this fight I've had, me and Brian did a watch-along video. It's on my boxing page now. I'm going to link my boxing page in the description. My boxing YouTube channel, where I'm dropping all the boxing content off of that. And you can follow me on this whole little Misfits journey, because by the end of 2024, I'm telling you, I'm going to have that Misfits title wrapped around my waist. The next one might be in London in April, so I'd love as many of you as I can possibly get to come to London and cheer me on, and we'll have a beer after. People, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you all in the next one.